Well, what's up, guys? We seem to be having not technical difficulties tonight, but an actual problem with the guest. So, in the meantime, hey, welcome to Rainy Nights, the segment on my YouTube channel where I interview motor vloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before, I am Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley-Davidson Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe, comment, hit the bell, share it with your friends. So tonight, we are going to have Seventh Sentinel, but she seems to be delayed for a little bit. So I guess I'll take some questions from the crowd until she can get here. Sorry guys, this is just how things happen. Apparently. I'm sure she'll be coming very soon. Maybe. Possibly. I had all kinds of questions ready for her too, like, what's the difference between a pork roll and a Taylor ham, because people need to know these things, So I guess I can take questions from the crowd while we're waiting for Seven to show up. Anybody got anything good? Awkward. I say we're going to give her a couple more minutes and then we're just going to turn this into a free-for-all. Well, I see Justin and Aaron is out in the audience. If you guys wanted to jump into the chat right now, might as well go for a free-for-all until she gets here. You guys want to join? So Juice is asking who I got on the game. My only answer to that is what game? Is there a game? Is there a game? Don't know. Alright, we're going to make this into a free-for-all. I'm going to drop the link into the Discord server we all know and love, and I guess the first couple of people that jump in, I guess we'll do a show. Anthony just showed up, so let's see here. I don't know what that is. What did I just do? Alright, I just dropped the link into my Riverside, so if you're a member of my Discord, get on there and join. We gotta do something tonight. This is getting awkward. Somebody please jump in to the stream here. Way to go, Sid. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a Sydney tonight. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm sure she's got a good reason. That's not like her. Let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can line up another guest. Talk about awkward. Hey, you guys want to hear some music? Yep, this is not good. Oh, Juice to the rescue.
I'm here. Save the day.
Yeah, this is Sid, you let me down. Damn it.
Odd.
Damn it.
Like you were saying though, I do believe there's probably a good reason for it.
Yeah,
even if it's just like a nap, but like there's probably a decent.
She sent me a response like 20 minutes ago, or no, like 10 minutes ago, and it was like 1 second. So that was at like 10 to 5. I'm like, oh, okay, she's coming. We're good. That was many seconds ago.
We'll get her on here. I'm like the warm up act, you know. I'm here all weekend apparently, you know, like can't get rid of me.
So is anything? Well, we had you on last night. Yeah, I'm glad to get you here. Anything last night you didn't get to cover, and you went, oh yeah, by the way.
I mean, like, there's some things like that I think are pretty exciting in my personal life. Like, I'm in the process of buying my own house, and it's in the middle of fruit. What the hell do you call it? The fruit belt of Michigan, which is like a big deal. So I'm surrounded by like orchards and stuff like that. If I get this house, it's technically a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, but by all accounts, after doing the inspection and everything and walking through the house, I have a 1-bedroom, 1 office, and 1 landing. Yes, a landing of the second floor was going to be a bedroom. But the key piece of this is that it's on a 1-acre plot, and it has a 30 by 40 garage with 2 doors.
Holy!
So it's
can I come visit?
Like yes, no. Like so this is where I'm going with it. It's like if I get this place, I've already got it set up to like we're right next to a church, so on Sunday mornings we'll have to be quiet. But otherwise, like I've got the bachelor pad place. Like I'm going to have to figure out a way to invite people and have events in my area, if whether that's at my property or in the neighboring area. I need to make friends with the farmers, and we just like rent out a field for a weekend.
The good thing about bachelor pads is they usually are quiet on Sunday mornings because everybody's either still sleeping, maybe making snoring noises. Hopefully everybody lays down before church starts, usually. So
I would think so. But yeah, like literally this place is in the middle of, it's in the country. I mean, like it's just off the highway, and I don't have any other neighbors. Like I don't know where the next nearest house is. It's not visible. Which I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, that's like where I grew up. It's awesome. You don't have to worry about anything.
Right off the highway, and so that means easy access to getting to the store and everything. My commute, even though I think I'm like physically further, I think it's about the same to work when I need to go into work.
All right. I just did hear from Sid. She said she could not get her camera to load Riverside. So, yeeks. Sorry, Sid. Well, I got you two guys. So, Battle Royale. Aaron showed up. Hello, Aaron, my little brother.
Howdy.
Looks nothing like me, but
clothes on.
I know, right? I'm only dressed from the waist up.
Yeah.
No one needs to know.
I've been in many a meeting at work like that.
Oh yeah, I saw a really good meme the other day. This girl was sitting there with a business suit on in her bunny pajama bottoms, and then the cat jumps up, knocks her coffee over, and then she jumps up and she's got her bunny pajamas on. Too funny. So, Aaron, I had you on also before. So, have you thought of anything that you want to share? Because you didn't get a couple of these questions. I've actually added these since you, because you were kind of like my prom date. Not quite my first time behind the barn, but the first time that I tried to formally do it. So,
I mean, I've watched so many of these interviews. I kind of guess I can't separate the new questions from the ones that I answered.
I did not get to.
There's
Cindy's
Hey.
showing up.
What's up, guys?
Hey, finally I'm gonna ask Aaron this question, and I'm gonna boot him off unceremoniously.
I was gonna say like we need to. It's time for us to get out.
So, Aaron, one last question, and then you got to go. What one bike would you ride if you could only ride it once, and never get to get on it again?
Just ride it one time and never touch it again.
Yep.
Probably be either one of the Ducatis, because I do kind of have a stigma against those. But more or less likely it'd be the Rocket 3. I'd probably get on that, go on a straight line for like 5 or 6 miles very quickly, and then need a change of clothes.
The first time I saw one of those, it literally looks like half of a 6-cylinder diesel tractor engine with wheels on it, and I thought, my God, that's a death machine. Absolutely.
I sat on one at Iron Pony up in northern Columbus, and it was actually incredibly light to stand up and sit on, and I can understand why a lot of people would get those and just have a heyday with them.
Oh, I can too.
I don't need that much power.
You don't need it, however.com. It seemed like it'd just be fun. All right, guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for bailing me out. It's time for Sydney now.
All right, later.
Oh, it's good to see you, Sid. Make sure you
Sorry, Juice.
All right,
Hello.
everyone. Sydney's finally here. I'm getting some feedback from your mic.
Oh, my bad, yeah.
I'm not sure where. Still getting it.
How about now?
Hey, we sound good. It's a lot lower. Okay. All right, on with the show. Tonight's guest was, there it was. I'm already losing it. Let's just roll with it. Tonight's guest is Seventh Sentinel. She's straight out of New Jersey. So, important questions must be asked. What's the difference between a Taylor ham and a pork roll?
Look, all right. Whatever you want to call it, really, as long as you get the same result of delicious pork. This has been it's a highly debated topic over here in New Jersey. I've seen people get into like shouting matches at delis over this.
So as I was doing research on this, yes, I heard. So I Googled it, looked it up, and people were like, yeah, really, Taylor ham is just a pork roll, and it was originally Taylor ham pork roll, and then they cut that, and now pork roll is something totally different. And the comment right behind that was, I will find you and kill you and bury your whole family alive. So it's, highly contested. I absolutely believe it. So
Now, question to people debating this. If it's a roll of pork meat, which name is technically correct? The tailored ham, or is it actually a roll of pork meat?
Yeah, and I feel the same way like about Ford and Chevy. I mean, there's not a difference. They're both made in Japan, so what's the difference? So they just get painted here, I think. Probably not even that. Moving on with the show, tell us about yourself. Where are you from and what do you ride?
So I'm from the central part of New Jersey, all the farmland, the garden of the Garden State. I ride I have 2 bikes. I have an FZ07, Yamaha FZ07 2016, and I also have a Harley Davidson 2020 Lowrider S.
Which is your favorite?
You know what? I'm gonna have to say the Yamaha.
I was gonna say, before you answer that, everyone out there who has not watched her channel, her bikes talk to her and they cuss her out quite a bit on the videos. So I was gonna say, if you wanted to save yourself from them, because they both seem very temperamental.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna hear the end of it.
Yeah, the Z sounds like when the Z talks, it's like a high-strung teenager, and when the lowrider talks, it sounds like a strung-out old man. So
he is.
Maybe the Harley won't care as much. I don't know. So how long have you been riding?
Oh my gosh. I've been riding for about over 9 years now. Yep. About 9 years. And I started out actually on the FZ07, which was a 689cc liquid cooled bike. And then just recently last year got the Harley, and in 1 year I put about 20,000 miles on it.
Some kid in the audience is asking to ride your FZ.
Is that Aaron?
I don't think he's tall enough. No.
I'm barely tall
You
enough.
must be
I was
this
like
high to
tiptoeing.
ride this.
But yeah, it's something you got to get used to, tiptoeing. Just finding that balance point and really getting used to it. It's not that bad though. Like Aaron and I, we're the same height roughly. So maybe he's a little taller. But yeah, it's definitely not like the Harley. That's the one thing I loved about the Harley, is that I could flat foot it. It makes it super easy to ride. It's really well balanced, but it's not as spunky.
I get that. Yeah, I'm having the same problems now with my BMW. It's tall, it's fun to ride, it goes forever, but I need to be able to put my feet down every once in a while. And
Yeah.
it's, with it just me on it, it's fine, but when I got the luggage and I have to actually adjust the suspension, the difference between two-up suspension and one-up suspension is like 4 inches. So it
Oh, wow.
moves up 4 inches when you go into two-up mode. So it's a breath. It's a big breath to take. So how did you get into motorcycles?
So actually, I got into motorcycles from my pops telling stories about it. He would tell me stories how he took his like 400cc. Back then when he was telling me, he's like, "Oh, I had a big Harley." No, yeah, he would actually. I found out recently. He got upset. Yeah, I found out he had a Yamaha, and it was a little 400cc engine, but he would take this and he would ride from New Jersey down to Florida. And he was so upset. He was like, "Oh man, I didn't want you to know I had a 400cc bike." And I'm like, "Dad, you took a 400cc bike on the highways all the way down to Florida? Are you kidding me? There's not a whole lot of people who have the balls to do that."
Aaron did it. Aaron took a 400cc motorcycle all the way from Ohio to Florida.
Isn't that thing 500cc's?
Yeah.
Listen, size doesn't matter.
Sure. Why does your eye twitch when you say that? Just your eye,
But yeah,
your eye twitch, your lips purse, and you head turn. You couldn't make eye contact. It's just, yeah. Okay. Sure. If you guys out in the audience have some questions, make sure that you lead the question with one of our names at. That way we'll be able to see it. It'll light up the question. So I don't want to miss anybody's questions. What you drinking?
Oh, this is my go-to whenever I do streams. I have a Dark and Stormy. So, it's labeled honey, but it's a Dark and Stormy. I'm a mixologist, so I love mixing new drinks and stuff, and every so often I'll work events.
I have heard you mention Dark and Stormies before.
It's my go-to. It's so good. If you like ginger beer.
I do like ginger beer. So my kid gave me crap here a while back, so I like ginger beer, and I like making Moscow mules. And we got some ginger beer that was like drinking acid. And so I just bought it, hadn't opened the 6-pack yet, put it in the fridge, and she had a sore throat. So I'm like, yeah, drink some of this ginger beer. So she took a sip of it, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's horrible. It's burning my throat. It burns my mouth. It doesn't feel right." I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably because you got a sore throat." And when I went to drink it, it literally was like drinking battery acid. It was so strong.
Wow.
But once you get enough vodka in it, didn't matter. So, is what it is.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we're gonna mix some drinks at Forgotten Angels.
Definitely, yeah. If you guys give me ingredients, I'll put it together for you. Just so you know, though, I burn my drinks, which means I put way more alcohol than is reasonably acceptable.
You say that like it's a problem.
Well, it becomes a problem later.
Never. All right. So, who inspires you to ride?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say like a lot of the people I follow on YouTube. Chase inspires me to ride. Whiskey Chaser, Parker. If you're in the audience, I love you, Parker. Actually, Aaron, Nothing at Random. He inspires me to ride a lot because he constantly tells me how much Ohio's weather is super crappy, and I'm like, I'm going to take advantage of my weather. And just the fact that he's like pushing every day, getting out there every day, trying to get on the road, it's really inspiring. And also, in terms of like long distance riding and just planning out trips and doing adventurous things, Itchy Boots.
Yeah, that's probably one of the one that embarrasses me. When she went through the Ukraine, no, it wasn't the Ukraine. She went through Uzbekistan, I think, and it was like 20 below zero, and she was frozen.
Yeah,
that's what inspired me to like, well, I should ride more in the snow. I should ride when it's cold, because if it doesn't stop her, granted, when it gets dangerous, it's dangerous. But I mean, if it doesn't kill you, you can ride in it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, absolutely. Now, you've done a lot of group rides. You've led group rides.
Yes.
What would you rather do, a solo ride or a group ride?
Honestly, it kind of depends on who I'm with. So I love big group rides. I love seeing just a whole bunch of steel rolling down the road. But there's just that kind of peace that you get when it's a solo ride that you don't get in a group ride. A group ride's really fun because there's always something going on. There's always, I call it road drama. There's always road drama going on. But when you're by yourself, like carving down back roads or even on the highway, you just enter this state. It almost feels like a flow state, and it's just so peaceful. And there's something so, I don't know, for me it's cathartic. There's something so cathartic about it.
Okay, so I got to ride with you one time, and I've got to ask, why do you have such a high disregard for cops?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not.
Look, I blow through. Like, what was it? One was that they were trying to set up like a blockade or something.
Yeah, it was a really shitty blockade. To your credit, he left like an 8-foot hole up to one side of the car, and then he waved.
Yeah, who waves when you don't want someone to come through?
Yeah, and he's like, "Didn't you see me standing there? No, I saw this big 8-foot hole that you left right before you waved." So
exactly. Yeah, no.
I started to go that way, and then as soon as he started yelling at you, I'm like, "I'm not with her. I'm going the other way. Where are you going?" It was too funny though.
I'll take the blame, man. I'll talk to the cop for you.
No, I thought you were following me, and then I looked back, and he was like yelling at you, and I'm like, "Well, let me make a U-turn. I'll come back the other way." It was kind of funny.
It happens. Yeah, no, it was. I was laughing my ass off.
So, in all seriousness, we did ride together, and I like those smaller rides where you can, well, you know you're going somewhere, but you can kind of change your mind on the fly. Because I don't think we knew where we were going when we left to go out to Raccoons, did we? And then we just kind of drifted that way, and all of a sudden we stopped, and it's like, what's here? What's Raccoons? That's something you can do with, I think we had like 5 people with us. You can do that when 5 people are with you. You can't do that when 50 people are with you.
I've tried with 50 people once.
How'd that go?
I forgot. Well, so you know Google Maps has this feature where you could download the route? Mm-hmm. Well, it was giving me such a hard time, and for some reason it just never downloaded properly. So I'm like, all right, I'll just wing it. That was the biggest mistake of my life. I took a pack of 30 Harleys down a dirt road accidentally.
I was
on the FC.
I remember that video. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. I was like, good.
That wasn't even the first time I did it. The time before that, I didn't even have my gear for my headset and all that. Yeah.
Follow me.
Burly ass men.
That's good
down
for
fucking dirt road.
Ain't nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with teaching people humility. So
there's nothing more humbling than riding your Road King down a fucking footpath.
You should make it. They got fat tires.
Hmm.
Yeah. Justin agrees with you. Loves group rides, but solo rides are number one.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite moto meetup? And when I say moto meetup, it's the one that happens periodically, and if you miss one, you can always make it next year, but you still like to go to it.
I'm going to say the Babes Ride Out meetup. Babes Ride Out is probably one of my favorite meetups ever. And, oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead. This is your show. This is your show. I'm just asking questions. I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee.
I'm so used to listening. But, yeah, Babes Ride Out is one of the more, like, it's I don't want to use the word liberating, but for lack of better words right now, it's like you don't have to worry about anything. You go there, demo bikes, hang out with a bunch of other girls. Last time I think they had welding. We were working on welding, and they had a pinstriping class, and everyone just partied and got shit-faced at night. It was absolutely wonderful. There was fireworks, and like I tell this story every time I explain BRO, bro. But I was on my way to the showers in the middle of the night, drunk off my ass. I dropped my wallet. Someone found it, and they literally like tracked me down, spent 4 hours tracking me down. Cause back then no one really knew my name. They just know me as Sentinel, and I didn't have any like spam cards. So they didn't know whose wallet it was, but eventually they found me. And like, you wouldn't really get that at, I don't know, Lake George or any of those meetups. I don't believe. But yeah, it's just such sweet people. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's got your back. It's a good spot. Good place.
I think Indigo Moto said she liked doing the Babes Right Out because she got to run around without her top on or something. It was...
That's true. You could do that too.
Things you can't do in guy meetups. You can't do that at Forgotten Angels for sure.
Oh, yeah. No. People have tried.
Not with that gator. Oh, dude, yeah. Topless dude. Shirtless dude. Oh, yeah. Moving on. So not moto meetups, but what favorite single meetup have you done? Something only happened once, everybody decided to meet up somewhere, and you went and had a great time.
Not necessarily moto meetups?
On a motorcycle.
On a motorcycle?
It's something that just happened once, you went to once, and you loved it. And if they ever did it again, so kind of in the course of like how people have talked about camp out at the quarry, probably never ever going to happen again. So the one time they went, and then the other guys, like we went to Echo Bluffs is going to be one, and then Eureka Springs. It's a one-time thing, may never happen again, but you'd love to go again.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever been to any one-shot motorcycle meetups. But I would love to go to something like Camp Out at the Quarry, even though it's probably not going to happen again. Yeah, taking recommendations. So
in September,
tell me all the details.
Right outside Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. There's it's down in Lynchburg, Tennessee. The Jack Daniels meetup over Labor Day weekend. Just so happens 3 people are going to have a birthday that week, and they're having a get together and a tour at the Jack Daniels distillery.
Okay. I could ride down for that.
Come on down. Yep, we stay in a hotel, and then we all truck in together. There's a brewery not right next to the hotel. It's a microbrewery, a restaurant. So you can sample beer there, eat, go back to the hotel, get in the hot tub, leave the next morning, run out, come back the next night. It's fun. It's a full day event. I think it's like an 1.5-hour ride from the hotel to Jack Daniels. And it's beautiful country. It's Tennessee countryside. It's freaking awesome. If you don't get a flat, it's beautiful.
Were you the one who got a flat last time?
No. Why would you ask those silly questions like that? Yep, that was me. Yep, that's when I got to try out all my tire patching gear for the first time on the motorcycle. It was awesome.
That must have been exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, the good thing about that was everybody stopped with me, so that was really that was a special thing. And I kept we literally were already late leaving the hotel, and had the flat, and I kept telling everybody, no, just go ahead, because we had paid. I got military price on my tickets, so they paid full price. So I'm like, just go, I'll catch up later. And then they refused to leave me, and they stayed with me. We patched the tire, got it aired up, and rode in. Had a fantastic time. So, yeah, September. Nice. First weekend of September, Labor Day weekend. Come on down. We'll save you a spot. What else do we got here? So, what is the stupidest thing you have ever done on a motorcycle?
There's a few. But the dumbest one, reckless abandonment, rode through a really bad lightning storm. Like so bad that when the lightning was hitting down on the road, you could feel it reverberate through the road and just through your bones. And I think that was the most stupid thing I've ever done, but I literally had no choice. I couldn't pull over anywhere. There was no buildings near me at all. I was just riding. And yeah, there was just no safe spot.
I think we've probably all been there at one time.
Yeah.
This is dumb, but I really don't have a choice. So
yeah,
I
it's
can
like, all right, send
this,
it.
Yeah, I can sit under this underpass for 3 hours, wait for it to pass, or I could just go and see what happens.
There wasn't. I couldn't even find an underpass that was safe to stop at because none of them had any sort of shoulder, and there was like barriers. I couldn't get the bike up into a safe spot, so I would have just been at traffic just could have like rammed into me, and then I remember thinking, like, okay, well, if this is my time to go, this is my time to go. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm on the bike. I'm fine with this.
achieve your inner peace. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
when me and Diana were on the way back from last March's Forgotten Angels, we rode into the horrible storm. I think everybody did. But on the way back, yeah, we rode right outside Birmingham. We rode between two tornadoes. And the rain was so bad, I couldn't see the road. I heard the rumble strip as I went to ride across it, and then I saw the overpass. I'm like, cool, I'll get under this overpass. No relief. The rain was coming in sideways. And under the underpass was even worse than being out in the rain. Because once we got back out in the rain, we just got behind a truck and we at least had some shield on us. So it was like throwing the rain off of us a little bit, but it was disastrous. And there was nowhere to stop. I mean, we were in the Talladega forest. There's just nowhere to stop.
What did you guys just went through? Like, what do you do?
We just kept going. I mean, we got behind the truck. The truck was probably going about 40. And it was just a perfect speed to throw the rain off of us, give us a little tunnel to drive through. At one point, I thought the rain slacked up, and I tried to go around the truck, and it just started throwing rain up on us again. And then I couldn't see it all. So we just went behind the truck and waited for about an hour. The rain finally let up. So, but the truck shielded us the whole way.
Nice.
So small miracles. Thanks, truckers. Thanks, Trucker Paul.
You know what? Trucker Paul. Man, he's in New Jersey right now.
Is he?
Yeah, I do believe. I've been busy all day, so I haven't been. He messaged me. I'm here until I think Monday morning. I'm like, dude, fuck. Like, I can't get out of these responsibilities. Shit.
Yeah, he messaged me once when he's like, where you at? And I said, I'm right off of this exit off of 302. And he's like, I'll be driving through there in like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'm at work.
Yeah.
I'm off the exit, but I'm actually at work. So, yeah, it's just too bad.
He's one of those guys who I feel like if you told him where you worked, he would show up and just stand outside the window, just like rubbing his nipples. Yeah.
He probably would have. Yeah, Justin says I piloted my bike ship through the storm. Yeah, I pretty much did. My canoe bike.
Yeah, your canoe bike.
That bike is great in the rain, I will say that.
How many storms have you taken that thing through?
Oh, Lord, a lot.
Like,
snowstorms,
I've heard the term white
storms.
cloud. You're like a rainy cloud.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely... So the joke, and you're probably in on this, so Nicole up in Ohio, she says every time she takes a long trip and takes someone with her, it rains. And every time I take a trip, it rains, a long trip. So I'm pretty sure if me and her ever rode together, we would probably split the earth. There's probably no doubt about it. It'd be fun. It's a good story to tell your children, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like at least once a month I'm riding through a pretty good storm.
Damn.
But then twice a year, and it's usually when I'm on the way to a big event. So when we went in last March, it was a huge rain on the way back. On the way back last October, there was a huge rain. And we had to stop at a hotel because they just couldn't see the road anymore. And then on the way back from Nashville, it rained a pretty good bit. But it was warm then. It was like 80 degrees, so who cared? It was actually pretty nice then. So yeah, pretty much every time I ride. So if I'm going somewhere over 200 miles, it's gonna rain.
Yeah, I've seen videos of you just like carving through water, and I'd be like, damn, how's that engine not like bogging out?
Because it's a BMW, man. It's made for
being a canoe.
Yeah, I can't say enough. You throw that thing in a boat and it'd go forever. I swear.
Yeah, damn those German U-boats.
Yeah. That is such a good idea. I'm gonna change its name. No, she's Benita. She's gonna stay Benita. So, what is your scariest moment on a bike? Would it be the same event or?
No, actually. Sometimes I would like to think that the scariest moment on my motorcycle was when I lost my pinky on the motorcycle riding through Massachusetts. And yes, guys, Massachusetts does exist. But I was riding and I hit an oil slick, and when I didn't drop the bike, but I controlled the chaos, kind of like had to drift over into the shoulder, fishtailed, and the rumble strips, when I got the control back on the bike, the rumble strips and the curvature of the road like sent me back into the guardrail a few times. Like I couldn't, for some reason, right myself. And 3 times I hit the guardrail, and my pinky decided to have a party with the guardrail, the bars of my bike, and the tank. And it was severed in my glove. So, but
You
I
saved
don't. I did. It's attached now. I have a little tiny Harry Potter finger. It's a little. It's a little
scar.
short.
Harry Potter
Scar.
finger. I like that.
Yeah. But I don't think that was the scariest moment on my bike. I think the scariest time on my bike was driving at night, and then an aggressive driver. Like, I don't even know where this guy came from. He was in a Ford F-150, and I think it was like black or navy. And this guy was on my ass the entire way. And now I'm going like 50 miles per hour down some back roads in Jersey. And this dude's just like following me, like right up on my tail. And then I pull over to like let him pass. And he flies past, but then he stops and he pulls over to the shoulder. There's no one else on the road. It's him and me. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do to piss this guy off? I'm just going the speed limit a little over. But yeah, I think that's when I shit bricks. And then I just dipped down some back roads and ended up turning off the bike in a cul-de-sac and lost him.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Somebody was telling me the other day that they got followed by a bunch of guys, and when they found out it was a girl, they started trying to flip her hair. Oh, it was Ebony. It was Mad Girl Moto from Tasmania.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She said somebody was following her, and once they figured out it was a girl, they kept trying to grab her. And so she like nailed it and just got out of their way.
Yeah, drop a gear, disappear.
Drop a gear, disappear. Yes, ma'am. That's what I love about motorcycles. It can get you out of any problem, almost.
Yeah. And you got to do wheelies to forget your feelies.
I like that.
That's what the FC is for.
Somebody says your tires will keep you from getting electrocuted in a storm. Not true. So I actually used to test rubber gloves for the Navy, and depending on how thick they are, some of them are good for 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20. Lightning is what, 1.5 million volts. So yeah, you're not safe on a motorcycle. Sorry.
Does anyone know what an exploding tire is like? Because that lightning is so hot, it'll superheat the air inside that tire.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have a bad day.
I've been beside rigs when the tire blew, and that's crazy enough. It literally is like just being beside an explosion.
Yeah.
It's like being beside a grenade, except it's rubber shrapnel instead of steel. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I have a rubber ducky on my motorcycle, and that's my good luck for the rain. So I have one on the Harley, and I have one now. I had one on the BMW before, and now I just got one on the Harley. The one on the Harley carries a little machine gun, so watch out.
That's cute. That's cute.
He hasn't got to make an appearance on videos yet because it's cold here. He hasn't got out much, so but he will.
How's your Harley doing?
It's lonely. I've got it out probably once in the last 2 months. I mean, it's been so stupid cold here. Actually, I drove it to work twice in the middle of January because it was like 60 and 70 degrees. So I drove it to work a couple days, and then it got right back down to 30s. So I was back to the BMW.
Yeah, it's been kind of cold over here. Not like super cold, but like the wind just makes it 10 times worse. And then when you're on the bike plus the wind, it's miserable.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I hate this time of year because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, at least in the summer, you know it's going to be hot. You just don't know what degree of hot it's going to be. And then in December, you know it's going to be cold, but you just kind of, it's varying degrees of cold. February in Mississippi is like one day, it literally is, 0 degrees. The next day it's 70. It just changes that fast.
Yeah.
And probably all of America is like that now. It's just stupid. I mean, it was freezing in Florida a couple of weeks ago, so I mean, the world's going to end, I'm sure. When Tampa freezes over, you got a problem.
I'm sure it's got to happen at some point. Like there's going to be some freak ass storm, and then you're going to get all the religious folk coming out. It's the end of times.
So, well, we woke up one morning and it was literally like 60 degrees the day before. Got up and it was 0 degrees in the morning. All the pipes were froze in the attic, and it was like, what the hell just happened? And I missed work that day because it's like nobody was expecting it, because it was not like super warm the day before, but it was pretty warm. Because I think it was like the day before. Oh, it was the day before the weekend for Christmas. So it was like just so stupid. But moving on, what has been your favorite part of riding? Let's not make this about me. Let's make this about you.
My favorite part of riding is it kind of balances me in a way, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to this. But like when you get on a bike and you got a lot going on, you could just forget about your problems, live in the moment. It changes your mindset, and I think that's my favorite part about being on a bike. It forces you to live in the moment and appreciate what you got right then and there. And it makes your problems, the problems that you're dealing with, or the dangers or the possible threats, or whatever you're dealing with on the bike, especially guys, you want something humbling? Drive in New Jersey traffic. But yeah, it almost like changes your mindset. So that's my favorite part about it. It's such a peaceful thing to me now.
So I've seen you do a lot of good deeds on your motorcycle in your videos. You actually pulled a pallet out of the road once. You saved an amphibious creature. I saw that one. So
when was the amphibious? Was it the turtle?
Turtle, yeah.
Oh, that was an old one.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
So what makes you, while you're driving and in your own little peace of mind, decide, I'm going to help society today?
I don't know. Sometimes I'll be driving and I'm like, oh, that's going to fuck up someone's day. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I guess I'll just fix it or try to. Yeah. And the turtle, well, I don't like seeing turtles get squished, so.
We used to live on where I worked at the steel mill. There was a turtle crossing, probably like a mile from the plant, and it was about some back road, and there was a levee on the other side. So and I'm talking huge river turtles would always cross there, and so somebody was always jumping out. So kind of a natural thing. I think when you see somebody doing a good deed, it makes it easier to do it yourself. So it just became kind of a natural thing when people were flying through there. If there was a turtle, you're going to stop. You're going to pull it off the road. And I was probably, on the motorcycle, it's very easy to jump off, grab something, and throw it off the road and keep going.
Yeah, I was so surprised, by the way, when that that truck that hit that pallet. I was so surprised that he just fucking nailed that thing and sent pieces everywhere. I was like, oh, dude, really?
Some people don't care.
No.
Oh yeah, and you returned a wallet.
Oh, I did, yeah.
You did.
Oh,
I remember that.
I did not know. Yeah, I did not know what to make a video on, and I was like, what, this is. I felt kind of bad uploading it, if that makes sense. I was like, people don't need to see this, but I also, because a lot of people, they have this really bad conception of motorcyclists that we're just all rev bombing everything and we're causing problems for people on the road and being aggressive drivers. And while I was like, what, this seems like, I don't need people to know that I'm a paragon or try to be a paragon, but like, I don't know. It's just, if people have this conception, it's kind of nice to put something out there to just say, hey, we're not all like that. And, maybe be nice to bikers, because not everyone's nice to us on the road. And sometimes people try to run us off the road.
Yeah, that's why I like Forgotten Angels. I mean, I'm out to change people's, perceptions.
Yeah. Yeah. So, great meetup. If anyone hasn't been, please go.
So, which brings another question up that I'm going to add to my repertoire. Rev bomb or horn?
My fingers are too short to hit the horn. I got tiny fingers.
It's always been my perception, even on the Harley, nobody can hear the rev bomb. That horn. Of course, first thing I always do to all my bikes is I put a big, loud 160 decibel horn on it. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I always add that horn. It's not the one that they advertise on TV all the time when people are just being dumb honking their horns, but when you honk that horn on the BMW, when I hit the horn, people look around for a big truck because it definitely gets people's attentions.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think inside of people's cars they cannot hear a rev bomb.
Yeah, and they make cars way quiet now, so yeah, that's unfortunately every time I try to hit that, I either accidentally hit the blinker or I just miss the target in general and nothing happens. So I need like a button extender for that. Cause,
relocate your horn. Yeah, horns are
Yeah.
and I say this in all seriousness. Horns are important. You know, even if you had to relocate it to your knee, or you could just hit it with your knee. I mean, you've got to have
Oh, that's
a horn.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Horns are important.
Actually, Mike has to get a horn. I don't know if the fictional man is in the chat. I can't see the chat right now, but Mike definitely needs to get his horn fixed because he doesn't have one right now.
Yeah, Mike, if you're out
Calling
there.
him out. Yeah, fuck you, Mike. Fix your horn.
So, we've already covered your favorite part of riding. What is your most frustrating part of riding?
People.
Just being in New Jersey?
Well, no, I mean, they're just. You know what? New Jersey's not too bad. The highways can get hectic. It's about you have to time your rides. And New Jersey is like you can't just go out any time of day. You need to time your rides. If you time your rides and you go out during certain hours of the day, then you're set. You're fine. But you fuck up. You go out during like 4:30, between 4:30 and 7 on the highway. That's your fault. All right, that's your fault.
Like we were saying before, sometimes it can't be helped. I mean, you're just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but no, people in general, just the way that some people just have this disconnect of riders, like it's almost like there's a disassociation with the fact that, oh, that's a person who's trying to get somewhere, and they think that, oh, well, because I'm having a shit day or because someone cut me off earlier, I'm gonna push this smaller vehicle around. And yeah, it's just I got that in every state I've driven through, and I've been to almost every single state in the East Coast just last year alone. And it's ridiculous no matter where you go. It's just insane.
I don't think it's so bad here. I've never had as many people stop for me when I stopped on the side of the road as I did have in Mississippi.
Okay.
It seems like
Yeah.
every time I pull over for any reason, literally within a couple of seconds, somebody's pulling over right behind me to see if I'm okay. Usually a motorcyclist.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and I put a couple of them in my videos before when they stopped for me, if I could remember to. I keep forgetting to film the really good stuff, and as soon as it's over, I go, oh, I should have filmed that.
Yeah, same.
Totally lose it.
Yeah, there's been times where I'm like, my battery's dying and I'm trying to get this shot, but then something happens and I get so distracted with the thing that's happening that I forget to change the battery. And then I miss it.
I have started to just plug my thing. Whenever I'm on a long trip, I just plug my phone or my camera up to the auxiliary jack. Because the battery always dies at the most inopportune moment.
True. Or some comical moments. There's this one thing I was editing a while ago. I got to see if I even uploaded it. Probably didn't. But I'm riding along, going to a friend's Halloween party, and there's this squirrel that comes out. And I don't know if anyone's familiar with the JoJo Bizarre Adventure show or the anime, but that ending where it does that like sudden cut and it's roundabout. That's what it was like, because the squirrel ran out into the front of the road and you just hear me screech, and then all of a sudden there's nothing, and you see it just go out of.
That has
it's good.
Yes, put that in the video.
Will do.
So we are into almost the middle of February. What are your plans for the new year? What are you going to go do this year?
I really want to go to Babes Ride Out. I had to miss last year because I had to go to a friend's wedding, which awesome wedding, but I also miss my biker babes. And then I really, really want to do the both Forgotten Angels campouts. And now I really don't have an excuse because I got family in the area. So yeah.
So
And then I think I want to see about doing Amanda Zito's Rocky Mountain Roll. I don't think I could get a ticket for this year. Maybe it's a goal for next year now at this point. But I've always wanted to do that. She is such a sweet person, and the fact that her family just opens up their property to a bunch of crazy motorcyclists is awesome. So yeah, definitely wish if I'm gonna check for tickets now, but if I can't, I'll do it definitely next year.
Yeah, that's actually kind of neat. I would love to do something like that.
Yeah.
If I ever win the lottery, I'm going to buy a bunch of land and have motorcycle campouts.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. What kind of connections have you made? You talk about going to these, having your biker babes. What kind of connections have you made in the motorcycle community? What's it meant to you?
Honestly, I've built a really good support network. Oh, you okay?
Just a little dying over here. It's fine.
Okay, don't die. You're not allowed. I when I got into motorcycling, I've been just ever since I started, I've just been building my support network. And I've over the past 2 to 3 years, I would say that the friendships that I made they're ones that are going to last me a lifetime. Like absolutely wonderful people. I know they got my back. People offering me places to stay if I go traveling through the state. Like they're just so sweet, and I wouldn't trade these. Like I don't even want to mention trading them in for like new friends, but they're just so freaking awesome. Like I can't even words, man. Like these people have changed my life. I didn't know people could be this nice. That didn't even it wasn't even a concept to me. Just like 5 years ago.
Speaking of nice people, so the first camp out I went to, I think every time I looked at you and watched you, you were working. You were not there for yourself.
No.
I think you're a helper. You're a different helper, and that's a good thing. But yeah, you did so much at the camp out. You were always running around with Shelby, fixing things. This last camp out, we went out to dinner, and you were like, I'm bringing people food back. It's just your kind of thing. This is a thing you did. There was somebody that was sick, couldn't make it out. You got food for them. Parker, we brought food back for Parker. You're always out helping people. So not only turtles, but people too.
Yeah, I mean, I try. I try. Like, I don't know. Like, I just like helping people, I guess.
It gives you a good feeling.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I can make someone's day just a little bit better, then I did something good.
They say the people that help people a lot, their guardian angel is Mechatron. Have you ever heard of that? No. I'm not kidding. Not Megatron, Mechatron. It's an actual guardian angel. You should look it up.
What is that?
He's the guardian angel of helpers.
Hold up. Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing.
I feel like I'm going to search this and it's going to be like... No way. Huh. Anyway.
So anyway, well, now you have. That's my answer. So now you have. So, and they say not only are they guardian angels of that person, but their entire family is like that. So it's crazy. It's a lineage.
Oh, is it?
That's what they say.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to say anything bad on the podcast.
Well,
no.
Okay, we'll talk later. So, what's our next question? Moving right along. Okay, so what bike do you think is the most reliable? And if a new rider who'd already learned how to ride, who could ride, asked you, what bike should I get for low maintenance, ease of operation, what would you tell them to get?
You said a new rider or a long-term rider?
Someone who already knows how to ride, have just gone through the MSF course, is ready to move up from their 250, and they're ready to get a bike. What bike would you tell them to get for ease of maintenance, ease of operation, hassle-free riding?
Okay, so depending on what they're comfortable with, I'll always tell people, hey, if you just passed the MSF course, don't get something too big. I started on a 689 liquid cooled. The first time I got on it, I dropped it. Second time I got on it, I accidentally wheeled it and almost killed myself. But then it taught me to respect it. So I would have to say, like, depending on what style of riding you do, I would say like a Kawasaki 650. They're really well balanced bikes, low maintenance. It'll teach you how to work on, to like do the basics on your bike. I'm a big believer in starting out on a liquid cooled bike because they're just so forgiving. They're very forgiving. Like my Yamaha, that thing's a freaking tank. That thing, I put that thing through hell. I didn't even put the battery on a tender for like a year and a half. That thing like started right up, no problems. I drove that thing through the worst weather, beat the shit out of it, perfectly fine. So any sort of like the 650 Kawasaki, I think the Vulcan S. Vulcan S is a great bike to start on if you want cruisers, but you don't want to deal with the price tag and the maintenance involved with a Harley. I know a lot of people who actually tour on those 650s. Then you're going to also take a look at the Honda. Wait, can I only pick one bike?
Since it's you can do whatever you want.
Okay, all right. Because I'm gonna say if you're a new cruiser rider and if you want a bike to start out with, I would say the 650, Kawasaki Vulcan S 650. If you want like a sport bike or hyper naked, I would get the FZ07. But you have to be humble. You have to be very humble. It'll teach you about torque.
I was selling my, I had a 1100 RT, and one of the guys that came to look at it said, yeah, I hear these bikes are way too torquey in the corners. And I'm like, it's only as torquey as you make it. Maybe if you're worried about that, you shouldn't get it. So he didn't get it. Because I was like, if you already think you're going to kill yourself on this bike, back up. If you're
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're afraid to ride the bike, then I would say, like, hit the bricks, take a step back, maybe look at other options.
Yeah, go get a Rev-It.
But, hey, that's a great bike to start out on. Aaron, dude, you have mastered the Rebel pretty much. I'm just saying.
I don't know
Be
if you
proud
know
of that,
this. I don't know if you know this, but he's done an iron butt.
Like 3 times, right?
Just
like
saying.
he has 3 iron butts.
I don't know if did he do the last one? Was the last one iron butt? I thought there was only 2. Damn, he's racking them up. I tell you.
When you get in the ST,
Who, me?
Aaron? No.
I'm not getting no ST. I'm doing the 18, the R18 if I get anything.
Ooh, yeah, that's a fucking great looking bike. It's a great looking bike.
Yep, I've already gone and looked at one up there. The only thing I don't like about that is it has a little pocket for electronics, and it's not very big. It's very shallow and tiny, and I tried to put my phone in it, and it wouldn't even fit. So I'm not even sure what you're supposed to put in it. It's weird. Maybe I did something.
Does BMW offer like an area where you could wirelessly charge your phone?
Yes. So mine has a couple. So I have a pocket actually in my right hand saddlebag that has a charger on it. The passenger has a mini port to plug in a charger to, and then up on the dash I have another charger port.
Wow.
So that thing's made for electronics.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's the one thing I wish they did with Harleys. Like, if the ST or even the Road Glide, if the Road Glide had like a wireless charging spot, because it has those little flip-up storage spots, put your phone in there, you should be able just to charge it by just laying your phone down. That'd be so cool.
Oh, you want a wireless charging port?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know. They're easy to put on though. I mean, I have the, what's this thing called? The Rock Form. So I've got the Rock Form, and those sell wireless bases, so that'd probably be easier to do. But no, all the things I just mentioned were not wireless charging; those were charging ports.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the question because I got excited.
Hey man, if I had a bike like yours, I'd be excited too.
I stay excited.
Your bike's a spaceship. It looks so cool.
It's a canoe. It's a storm canoe. Love it. Okay, if you could go anywhere on a motorcycle today, and you don't have to start from your home, money's not an option, time's not an option. If you could go anywhere in the world and take a ride, where would you go?
So I really want to go through Zion.
Zion Forest?
Nash. Oh yeah, it's calling me. I want to go there so bad. I want to go to Zion, and Yellowstone's a close second to that, but definitely Zion.
I think Zion more than Yellowstone because I am afraid of buffalo.
They are very stupid.
Yeah, and bears. Yeah. Zion.
Yeah.
Watching Shaytree run the shovelhead and then the 500 through those parks makes you want to go and see, because that's just stuff you want to experience firsthand.
Yeah.
You can see
definitely.
it on TV and it looks great, makes a good screensaver, but that's stuff you need to see in person. It's just like, so when I joined the Navy and the first time I actually saw the ocean, I thought I'd seen the ocean because I saw it on TV, I saw it on JAG, and I saw it on some other shows. I saw it on Top Gun. But when you're actually out in the middle of the ocean and you look around, there's nothing to see but water, it changes your perspective of how big things are.
Yeah. That's the same kind of feeling I had when it was just like a feeling of like Sonder when I was going through the Shenandoah and the Blue Ridge when I was going down to Forgotten Angels. And I'm just standing there just looking out at this like rinky-dink little overlook. It's not even a popular one. There's hardly anyone there, and it just looks out over this valley, and you see all these tiny homes down there, and then you see these like craggy ass mountains just like breaching up from the crust. It's so cool. Definitely an experience I hope everyone in the chat can have.
Yeah, it is fun. Like you say, some of these places aren't popular. They're not the biggest. They're not the best. But when you stand at the cusp, and mine is so. On our way to Eureka Springs, we stopped at the Teacup, and the road was so sloped I couldn't even put the kickstand down on the bike. The bike wouldn't stay up. But we looked out over the Teacup, and it's just like this huge valley, and it's like 1,000 feet straight down, and it's a huge valley in Arkansas of all places. I didn't know Arkansas had valleys like that. But it was just, you say humbling. It's like, holy crap! There's this giant hole in the earth, and I'm standing on it. It's just insane.
Yeah. I love those moments. I absolutely love those moments. I think I've gotten addicted to those moments. The more I travel, the more I get addicted to it.
Oh, yeah. And it does become addicting. Absolutely. It's a thrill ride. So we kind of already know this answer, but have you inspired anyone to ride or wrench on their own bikes?
Mike, I would like to think that I did. I'm sure he's gotten a lot of inspiration from everyone on YouTube, but yeah, I constantly nag at him. Hey, do this work on your bike. Hey, work on this. Hey, if you need help, I'm right down the road.
Hey, get on the
I'd like to think. Yeah. I still remember the first time that me and a friend, actually, we pushed him. We didn't realize that this was like a 6-lane highway. We had no clue. And he's like fresh off of it, getting over his injury because he had a motorcycle accident, if you didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we took him on this 6-lane highway, and my friend and I were like, yeah, dude, just sink or swim. Let's go. Which was not the way to go about it. So, Mike, if you're there, I'm sorry.
I think you forget sometimes how big or how complex some things are because you do them all the time.
Yeah.
Until you have a newbie following you and then go, oh, yeah, this is tough and very hard, and the traffic's very fast. And
yeah, like merging for my friend and I, that was super easy because we have this little system of we make some space, I flash my lights, he comes in and merge, or I give him a hand signal, or we're on comms and I'm blocking for him. Because I think out of my local friend group, I've been riding the longest, so I'll be a blocker more often than not, and I'll make pockets for them to merge in, just so they do it safely. But yeah, that was pretty hectic, and the traffic was really bad for no reason. I don't know what was going on that day, but we picked the worst day to take Mike out on that road, and I felt so fucking bad.
Or the best. Sink or swim, Mike. So Stuart's asking about who Mike is. So Mike is this guy that she talked into buying the biggest bike they could possibly find and riding it.
I didn't do shit. You can't prove it. No, you can, but
So is he coming? Is he coming in March? Are you going to bring him down with you?
I don't know. I do have to say though, we went out on a ride recently, and this guy's improved so much. Like he's speeding now, and it almost took me aback, because I'm behind him, and I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna go like 5 miles under the speed limit. I'm like, oh fuck, and I look down, I'm like, we're 10 miles over right now.
Danger
We're going
dog.
50s. Yeah. I think it was 45, and then at one point we were going like 70 down a road, and I'm like, shit. And we're on comms, and I don't even think he knew how fast he was going. He was like, yeah, you'd probably, yeah. He's like, oh, you probably would be going faster. And I was like, dude, no.
No, you're trying to get me killed, Mike. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, that would be cool if he can come. So make sure you tell him we all want him to show up.
He's a force. He's a force to be reckoned with, just so you guys know.
I've seen.
Scott, when
As long as he doesn't bring
parties,
the blue car, I'll respect him.
I think he'd do really well on the trip. At this point,
Bring him.
he needs to get a little bit more comfortable with highway riding. But at this point, I think he could handle the trip no problem.
Yeah, the hardest part of the trip for even coming all the way from Memphis down there, the hardest part of the trip is getting into Florida. Once you get 30 miles outside of Tampa, that's when the traffic just gets stupid. I know everybody's always saying on 75, if you're not going 90, you're getting hit, but it's only right outside of Tampa that it gets that bad. The rest of it is very smooth. It's I don't know. I had no problem at all any of the times I went. It's just as soon as you get into Tampa, the traffic goes to crap.
When I was on 95, the traffic was going pretty fast. Excuse me. The first time I went, there was people going 100 miles per hour down 95, like even before Florida. But honestly, again, it depends on the time of day you go, depends on the time of year. Because a lot of people are there coming from out of state. They don't mind speeding in a different state.
Yeah, you're coming down coastal highways, so it's going to be a little different there, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Do you stop on the border when you come down?
Do I stop the restaurant?
The little carnival. Isn't that
Oh, no. What?
You've never seen that?
What? No.
So when you get down in Carolina, I think it's called On the Border. They literally, like 100 miles from it, you start seeing signs for it. And then when
You
you
just
get
blew
there,
my mind.
Yeah, when you get there, there's like a mini carnival. There's a fireworks stand. There's restaurants. There's little pubs. It's like a little mini carnival city.
What the heck?
Yeah.
How did I not know about
It's
this?
called On the Border. It's in I believe it's on the border. But it's called South of the Border. Thanks, Stuart. So it's called South of the Border. But it's a little carnival city. They've got a little Ferris wheel. They've got rides. They've got fireworks. It's yeah.
I want to ride a Ferris wheel. Let's go.
The first time I went through there, so when I was in the Navy, coming back in '91, right after Desert Storm, and it was a small thing. And every time I drove through it after that, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it is like a little mini city. It might be a city by now. You got to go.
I do, yeah. I got to drag some people too.
Get a t-shirt.
Man, I'm not going to be able to pack anything to the actual event. I'm just going to get all my t-shirts riding down.
If
not from birds.
Yeah, I've actually thought about going down with hardly anything except underwear, socks, and my rain gear, and then just getting everything while I'm there. We can make another Walmart trip.
Oh, yeah. You know what, dude? Rainey, I love our Walmart trips. They're probably some of the best trips. Mostly because your wife's just like guiding me through the aisles pretty much because I'm drunk off my ass. And
that bug spray was so good. That was the best smelling bug spray I've ever got. I wish I could.
It was really good bug spray.
I have not found any more like that. I guess it's only in Florida.
Wow. Yeah. Well, they got special insects in Florida.
Probably. All right. Here's one. I guess we're going to keep this Mike themed. If you could tell Mike one thing you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
Watch out for oil slicks. Yeah, I would say, in all honesty, I'd have to say checking my aggression, because a lot of people actually probably don't know this, but I get easily angered, and it took a very long time for me to kind of get that under control. So what motorcycling did was it humbled me so that I wouldn't be. I was in such a vulnerable state that I couldn't be that aggressive person. I'm aggressive with speeding, but I'm not going to be that person like, oh, I'm not going to stop you from merging in because I need to get there first. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care anymore. Sorry.
I'm actually less aggressive. So as far as my demeanor, I'm less aggressive on the motorcycle. As far as how I drive, I'm more aggressive because I'm trying to avoid all the accidents. But as far as when somebody cuts me off or when somebody does something, I think that's a good thing about a motorcycle is you already have a superiority complex and you don't feel bad about these small people trying to do horrible things to you. And you can just get out of your way and just keep moving.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna take that personal. Like if someone's trying to merge in, they don't notice me. First off, I don't care. Like I've been in that position before too, like trying to merge, someone's not letting me, or I've been in a rush before. Like I totally get it. Like one time I was going to the hospital trying to see my dad. He had a issue with his heart. And I'm just like, I'm trying to speed. I'm booking it. I'm going over like 50 miles per hour over the speed limit, trying to get to this hospital so I can see my dad. And this person, I guess they felt like checking everyone else on the highway. They were trying to police the highway. They decided to get in front of me every chance they could and slow me down. They're not a cop, but they were just trying to do that. They had no idea what I was going to. They had no idea that a family member of mine that could be the last time I'm seeing them. You have no idea why these other people are speeding, and there's no reason you should be taking it personal. If they're trying to get by you or trying to merge in, just fucking let it go.
Yeah, I just get out of the way and let them handle their own thing. That's between their them and their God. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, if they you let people be as reckless as they want to be.
I think the reason I can be so free on the motorcycle is I already think everyone's trying to kill me, so when I see somebody do something dumb, I'm expecting it. Whereas if I'm in a car, they kind of take me by surprise, and then the adrenaline's kicking in. And on the motorcycle, I already know they're going to act stupid. So it's not a big surprise, so there's not a huge adrenaline jump when they do it.
Well, I mean, I expect that from BMW car drivers.
Well, I actually... what was it? The Altima drivers are probably, and there was a meme about this the other day, but Altima drivers are probably the worst drivers on the road. If you see an Altima with a dent in it, they're going to try to kill you. And they won't even look up to see because they're probably doing something else. Just like Honda Civic drivers, the same way. They already know they're driving a piece of shit. They could care less if they crash it or not. So if they kill you, that's just one more smear on the bumper. And it's probably not even going to show. Aaron wants to know why we keep leaving him out of the Walmart trips. You want to answer that?
You're asleep. You're asleep, man. Like or you just don't want to hang out with us. I think we were looking for you last time, and you just ditched us every chance you got.
Yeah, I think you were trying to hang out with Chase, so you didn't come over with us. Oh, you know what? He was with Parker when we left because we're like, hey, we're going to go do exciting stuff. And you're like, no, I want to hang out with Parker. And we're like, fine, stay with Parker.
Yeah, but in his defense, Parker's an amazing person, and everyone should have the chance to hang out with Parker.
Everyone should have a Parker, yes.
Yeah, everyone needs a Parker in their life. A Parker in everyone's life will make their life so much better.
I think when we decided, it started with hey, we're hungry, let's go out and eat. And there was literally 5 of us. So it was me, you, My Pillion, Chris Living Large, Shaker, and then the dude that sang the death metal at the karaoke. I can't remember what his name was.
I know what the guy looks like, but I forget his name.
Not Marvin, something like that. Gosh, why can't I remember his name?
He has an amazing voice.
He was the one that donated the RV to Forgotten Angels. Or the van, the transit van. He donated the transit van. And I cannot remember what his name was. Ugh. Anyway. But yeah, we went out, we went and ate, and then decided we need towels. We need sleeping mats. I need bug spray. And everybody else left and went back to Forgotten Angels, and we went to Walmart. I think Chris Living Large went with us because he needed a towel too.
Chris went with us.
For y'all's special trip to Planet Fitness.
It's not lighting up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
You're fine. Yes.
Yeah.
Your big phallic microphone trying to make
Leave it
everybody
alone.
feel bad. Okay. Trying to make everybody feel bad. It's fine.
It's not that big. It's average.
Yeah, but the head is really anyway.
I mean, it's really all in the head. But yeah, no, Chris went with us. Honestly, he came in clutch because every time I went over to get into that shower, someone left it a mess.
Yeah.
I don't want to step in someone else's toe jam.
Well, you thought that was toe jam.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, I was just I couldn't. And the Planet Fitness showers, oh, they're so good. The water pressure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to rethink it for the next. Yeah, for this March one, it's gonna be huge. So we're gonna have to rethink our shower scenarios.
Oh, I'm gonna be getting a premium pass for Planet Fitness, so I could take one other person with me. If we get enough people who have that pass, we can just like swarm Planet Fitness.
Well, they said they're gonna have shower trailers this time. We'll see. But they said that's the last time they were supposed to have toilet trailers too, and that didn't work out. So.
But last time they had enough toilets, and in my opinion, they had enough toilets for the last event. The event before that, no.
Oh God, no. Yes, that was monstrous. Yes. So on with our questioning. What is the one thing most people may not know about you?
In my my side hustles. So I train protection dogs. I work with dogs who are getting trained for a sport called Schützend, which is German for protection dog. I know it's so complicated. It's a 3-phase sport with tracking, obedience, and protection. And I've been doing that for about 15 years. And the other thing people might not know about me is that I make rings.
I did know that about you.
Yeah. So it's a new hobby, new side hustle that I recently got into. It's not like I'm not doing like a substantial number of rings, but it's still been pretty fun just working on.
So this Schützen, is that the one we see on TV all the time where the dogs are like right on their legs and they'll stay between their legs as they walk? Is that what that is?
No, that's really like French ring. Schützend is a bit different. I'm probably not going to stick with the sport for too much longer, just because it's gotten away from, like, the rules and regulations have just gotten away from what I believe makes a really good protection dog. Like one that's actually sound, that can be around people and is still functional in a realistic situation. But it's more like they have to be on you against your leg. They have to be able to take direction, going over A-frames, going over jumps. If you tell them to do something like, hey, grab that dumbbell, just jump over this little tiny hurdle and grab the dumbbell and then come back over the hurdle. The scent detection work and the protection work is kind of my favorite part. I don't really like the obedience that much, but they need to be able to track scenting individual footsteps and being able to track someone for, like, I think the longest track my dog did was over a mile. And what? They need to be able to release after biting someone.
That's important.
And the person still has to be struggling. So that's the hardest part. I don't know if anyone's ever worked with dogs, but getting them to get off of a toy when they're in like the mode, and they have high prey drive. Oof. It's a hard thing to train.
Yep. So I was a military cop, so I've worked not with the military dogs, but I've actually been at the kennels, and to watch them train them when they're trying to break them from fighting the struggler, like you're saying, that's always the interesting part. And we've had to put them on prisoners before, and it's some of them did not want to let go.
Oh yeah.
And I think sometimes dogs are moody too.
Most definitely they are. Yeah. I've had dogs who loved working one day and then the next day they're sore. So they're like athletes, Next day they just don't want to do anything. They're going through the motions slowly. They're sluggish, or maybe just that you piss them off earlier in the training session and then they don't want to let go because they got to get that aggression out because they couldn't get their way. They're stupidly they're stupidly smart. It's insane. And the smarter your dog is, the harder it is to do the sport, because they have to do everything down to a T. If they don't make the movements perfectly, you get, docked on points. So yeah, my dog gave me a run for my money during his training. He's like, fuck, I don't want to go over this A-frame. I'm going to go around it. That's easier.
Juice says you're wearing one of the rings now.
Oh, I am, yeah. It was actually one of the first ones I ever made. Get off my finger. I don't know how well it comes up.
Oh yeah,
but I did the
pretty good.
Yeah, nice. I did the inlay, copper inlay. There's some gold in there, and I wanted this to be like a sunken treasure themed ring. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
If I had a black light on me, I'd show you. It also glows in the dark.
But, I'm intrigued. Well, show us Forgotten Angels. I'm sure we'll have some black lights out there.
Well, actually, I owe Aaron a ring. He's getting a ring.
Oh, neat.
Supposedly. Oh, Aaron, sorry. I don't mean to pressure you. If you don't want it anymore, let me know. But we'll talk.
All right. Our next question. Boy, it's so easy to talk to you. It's like I forget I have questions. So.
Aw. Making me blush.
If you could buy any bike right now, you actually had to buy it for yourself, what would it be?
If I could, I would get the NT 1100 from Honda right now. I would do that. Realistically, one that's actually available in the United States, I would get the Harley Davidson Lowrider ST.
Okay. For what reason? Just because it looks cool? Because it's an ST? Because the bags aren't even?
Well, one, I already have all the things I'd want to put onto it, so I wouldn't really have to spend too much in modifying it. It already has the fairing, and I had the chance relatively recently to test ride it, and I found that it blocked a lot more wind than my current fairing, and the overall riding experience was much more enjoyable. And I don't know about you, Rainey, but sometimes when I sit on the Harley with those mid controls, like, do you ever get cramps in your leg or like a strain in your leg?
Yes, but I also have extended floorboards. So I have floorboards out front, so I can actually stretch out. So the bike you have now, though, is an S. I don't want to say just an S. I don't want to say just S, but it's a Lowrider S. So the T would give you the fairing, integrated bags. What else? Am I missing something?
Bigger engine, but that's about it. Oh, and also, I didn't realize that this was a big deal, but after going on a group ride with a bunch of sport bike riders, I had taken a turn on a slope and bottomed out on my bike. I scraped the entire underside of my vehicle because I went over this corner a little too fast and I popped up into the air for a second. No, I didn't crash, but I realized that I need to get something with a bit of better, suspension, because the Lowrider is a little bit too low, and the Lowrider ST is a little bit higher off the ground. It adds a little bit more. It's a little bit more comfortable for me to corner at high speeds.
So you're saying there's too much low on the Lowrider?
Yeah, it gets too low.
Maybe you should have got a high rider.
Ooh, I should. Or I could adjust my suspension. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the only thing what I noticed about even my Sportster is on most bikes, your rail is the lowest part of the bike. On the Sportster, the exhaust and the rings hang lower than the frame. So when I go to put the bike on the bike lift, on the actual rail lift, the bike kicks sideways because the exhaust is actually lower than the rail for the bike. I think that's because they want you. I think that's because they want you to buy the skid plate. They want you to buy. Oh, by the way, we can fix that here. Buy this. The Harley
that's the one thing. I can't stand Harley for that reason, man.
They sell you an incomplete bike and accept it. It's kind of we were talking about the Teslas last night. They sell you. They know what you need, but they only want to sell you part of it because they know you'll come back and pay for the rest of it.
Yeah, and the crappy thing about it is that I love my Harley. I think it's probably one of the most best, well-balanced bikes I have ever owned out of the whole two I've ever owned. But it's so fucking comfortable. And the fact that because of that comfort, because of the balance of it, I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to sell it, and I wanted to add on to it. And it's like they hook you, man. They hook you and they drag you in. They're like, yeah, this really key part about this bike is super comfortable, but we're going to sell you an incomplete bike.
Yeah, the thing I hate about Harley is the same thing that I like about my Harley. It's because, on one hand, it's an incomplete bike and it's an erector set, and you can just keep adding stuff to it. But on the other hand, you can add anything you want to it. I've already put 3 handlebars on the bike, swapped them out. I'm on my 3rd seat on the bike, and everything is just so easy to add to it.
Yeah.
Too easy, because then you have to pay for it. It's almost like a credit card. It's like Vice, getting the money out of the bank to go pay for something and having a credit card. It's just so easy to do. Too easy.
It is. Actually, you know what? This is a good point. To the question you asked earlier, the one thing I learned the hard way was that Harleys are a money sink. But
Absolutely.
It's a lovable money sink. Like, I love my bike so much. But it kills my wallet.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough. The BMW has everything I need, and there's very few things I've actually had to add to it. So, like the bark busters for the hands, I've added a navigation system to it. But everything else, it's already got. It's already got the heat. It's got the best seat in the world. It's got heated grips. It's got heated seats, full fairing, full windshield, floorboards, bags. Everything is already on it.
Yeah.
And you ask any of the BMW guys that have this bike, they'll tell you that they always add the Acropovic exhaust. And I don't know why, because it's just an exhaust, and you've already got 180 horsepower. You don't need a whole lot more. So, getting the extra 5 horsepower, whatever you get from the Acropovic, you're never going to use it anyway. I'm never going to use the 180 horsepower that the bike already has. So, I just don't see it.
I'll use it.
Or the Brimstone. I'm gonna let you take this bike out. I've had people tell me that, and then very very few people have actually been able to ride those bikes to their fullest. On top of that, mine's already been unlocked, so it doesn't have a governor. So so two Altera and Grease were both telling me their bikes top out at 104. I've had mine much faster than that when I was in Mexico, by the way, not in America, because that's illegal. But yeah, and it just doesn't let up. The guy that tuned my bike races. He has a bike just like mine, except it's a B, so it's the one like Everyday Greases. And he races it at the Memphis racetrack, and he's never been beaten. And now when he lines up, nobody will come out there and line up against him. So, if you would like to ride it, you are more than welcome.
I want to ride it, but I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared to ride your bike. Mostly because I know if I wreck it, I wouldn't be able to afford it.
It's got insurance. It's got full coverage insurance. If you want to ride it, that's fine.
You're like, please ride it. Please, if you wreck it, I'll get a new bike.
I'll get the 18. Yes.
Oh.
So who should I give it?
I'll be doing you a favor.
Well, I need to give it to somebody that's immature, doesn't know how to ride a bike, and has never had that much power between their legs before. Aaron. Anybody watching, I only pick on Aaron because he's like my little brother, and I really love him, and it's just easy to pick on him.
Aaron's also like a really good sport about it too.
He is. He's very good. He laughs at everything I say, no matter how wicked it is. So, all right. What bike would you want to ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again?
Ducati Diavel. That was like right off the bat with that quick response.
I already knew that one.
Oh yeah. Really?
No, you already knew that. It was like set. It was like coming off your tongue before I even finished the sentence.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I wouldn't be able to really afford that bike. I don't believe, but I would love to ride that bike. It looks so sleek. It looks amazing.
I had a friend that had one when I worked at the steel mill, and he had it all of 6 months before he got rid of it because he said, I know this is the bike I'm going to kill myself on.
Yeah.
I talk about my bike having slick power. He said there's no end to the power on this bike, and I just keep doing more and more, leaning more and more, going faster and faster. This is the bike that will kill me because it keeps telling me I can do things that I know I can't.
What do you like in a bike? Like, do you like a bike that tempts you to push the buttons, or do you like a bike that kind of keeps you under control?
I'm gonna say both because this bike tempts me to go faster, but it's also got the most advanced ABS and traction control system on any bike. So
Nice.
the only bike that has better traction control than this would be one of the Moto GT bikes. Because when I go, you'll never hear it in my snow video. You can actually hear the thing when it lets go and tries to reaffirm traction, and it's like just a couple of chirps. And I didn't really feel it, but I could hear the bike trying to chirp up to keep traction. And I was on like an inch of ice. So in that way,
Wow.
it keeps me safe. It keeps me under control. But when I twist that throttle, it's just gone. I mean, there's nothing holding it back. So probably a combination of both. A bike that will let me kind of test my boundaries and reach a little further than I need to, but then pull me back if I get out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, I personally like a bike that's humbling. Like when I had my FC, that's one of the things I loved about it. It was like, all right, yeah, this is a 689cc, but I could get up to $120 on it, and I won't realize I'm getting up to $120 on it.
Yeah.
and like a lot of people are like, oh well, it's like a slow bike, it's a low cc, but no, with the torque and just how fast it accelerates, how fast it gets to that limited speed, the limiter speed, it's insane. But yeah, I love a bike that's going to be like, okay, if you want more out of it when you need it, it's there, but it's also going to keep you in check.
Yeah. Totally get it.
I have no ABS on my FC.
People make fun of the ABS and people make fun of traction control, but man,
Yeah, I wish I had it on it.
Yeah, when it saves your butt, especially on a 900-pound motorcycle, it's
Yeah.
worth every penny.
I believe so, yeah. I wouldn't suggest a bike without ABS. I mean, for stunters, maybe, get one without it. Like, my bike's perfect if you wanted to do stunting. I personally don't, but the only stunting I do is playing in traffic. But yeah, never get a bike, especially nowadays with just how populated the roads are getting. I would never get a bike without ABS on it.
Absolutely. I get off the BMW and get on the Harley, and it's like getting on a dirt bike. All of a sudden, every corner it feels like I'm sliding out of. Every time I downshift, it feels like I'm locking the back wheel up, which I kind of am. But yeah, it's insane. Jerry says he wants to ride an arch motorcycle, and I've been working at my friendship with Keanu Reeves, and he hasn't returned any of my calls yet, but I'm working on it. So
Is it because you said his name wrong?
Oh, that's actually how you say it.
Keanu?
Keanu.
Oh, I thought it was Keanu.
It's Keanu.
Wow.
It's like a Keanu. It's Hawaiian for a ocean breeze or strong breeze, but I don't know. He's a surfer dude. You can kind of tell. But
He's awesome.
Yeah,
I wish he would respond to you though.
I would too. I've actually asked him to do interviews, and his people haven't got back with my people yet. I mean, me being my only people. I am working on some more interviews and hire people. So next weekend I have somebody who's pretty big in Canada. I've got Red Rider. So I am moving up in the world. Josh is going to get on here one day. Blockhead hasn't returned my calls yet either. Some other people have returned my phone calls to say no, but which is nice of them. It's nice of them to say, hey, sorry, I just don't have the time for this.
I mean, that's polite.
Yeah. So one of the bigger ones I'm asking right now is Zach Kortz from Revzilla. He's actually answered back and said, yeah, sounds great. I'll have to get back to you on that, which if that is such a low-key blow-off, I'm cool with it. So if not, then maybe one day I'll actually get him on the channel, and that would be great.
That'd be really cool.
It would be.
Also, definitely riding an arch motorcycle. I completely like that. That bike is so far out of my price range that I didn't even. it didn't even come to mind when you mentioned it. Like, I know about the company, I know all the work that Keanu's put into it, but it's like, I don't. I'm never gonna get a chance to ride that.
I would like to get a bike. Somebody the other day was kind of referencing it to like when Kenny Roberts was building the Proton bikes, and when the British dude was building his bikes. Someone who actually loves motorcycles, who's ridden motorcycles, who knows exactly what people like in motorcycles, building a motorcycle would be the ultimate motorcycle.
Yeah.
Probably just for that person. I mean, if you got a MotoGP guy building a motorcycle, it's probably going to cater more towards power, speed, handling capabilities than it would be just cruiser capabilities. Kenny Reeves likes old motorcycles like the old Vincents and the Blacks and the older British motorcycles. So that's kind of what I would think that the Arch feels like riding, is one of the older British motorcycles with a lot more power.
Yeah, I could see how that'd be the feel. I've seen a few of his interviews where he was talking about the overall balancing on it, and that's a big thing for me is how the bike feels when you're taking it through corners, or when you're even just doing basic turning, or even more importantly, slow maneuvers. That's the make or break for me with a bike. If they don't do very well with slow maneuvers, then I don't think it's well balanced at all. It's one of the things I really liked about the Lowrider S was that it was so good with the slow maneuvers. Like, I could basically take that thing to a crawl, barely moving whatsoever, and I would still feel planted and balanced. Anyway, I digress. Arch motorcycles. Keanu was saying that his bikes, he goes for that type of balance and that type of like feeling when you're riding. It feels planted, but you're a little higher up and you're a little leaned forward. Also, like, each bike, I think, is tailored to the person. You have to go and give measurements and stuff.
Yeah, they said two 6 foot tall people could go get measured for the bike and end up with 2 different bikes. So that just seems like it'd be very cool. You talk about slow speed maneuverability with your Harley. So I rented a Road Glide, and I was absolutely surprised at how good it was in parking lots and on the rain.
Oh, yeah.
And merging.
Yeah.
So, and then I remembered something I saw about when the V-Rod first came out. Every Harley has to pass the parade test, where they drive them super slow. Have you ever seen this?
Oh yeah, I have.
They drive them super slow, and then they park them up running out on a asphalt strip for an hour. Just leave them there running to see if they'll overheat.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't see that they wouldn't, because it's a Harley and they're air cooled. But apparently that's how they're designed. So they're designed to go slow speed forever and be very maneuverable in parking lots. Because make your own meme about that. But
oh my God, Rainy, my bike isn't slow.
well, of course yours isn't slow.
It's fucking. It scoots when it wants to. It just takes a little bit to get there. Okay.
No, I like it. You have a very cool motorcycle. It's actually our thumbnail.
Thank
if
you.
anybody wants to look at her bike, it's the thumbnail for this video. So we have a final question. You're not prepared for it.
Oh no.
What is your toxic trait?
What is my toxic trait? Oh God. I get distracted real easy.
What?
Yeah. What'd you say? What was the question? No, I get distracted really easy, and because of that distraction factor, it's like I'll forget to text people back. And it's not because I hate you. It's not because I hate you at all.
You get to show up on time for your own interview.
I'm sorry, but no, that was totally my bad. I got caught up.
Shit happens. I've actually been late getting to the interviews I was supposed to be doing before, and I've made it here on time, but I get in and all of a sudden it's like it never fails. If I'm here 15 minutes before the interview starts, nothing goes wrong. If I'm like, all right, everything's cool, I'm just gonna go get a drink, come back and sit down, all of a sudden Riverside crashes, OBS crashes, everything goes down.
Yeah.
So it never fails.
I was trying to get into Riverside, like, when I got free. I was like, oh, come on, get on. And it took 15 minutes for me to get it to cooperate.
I have learned Riverside decides to update itself about once a week. So for the Saturday stream, I go in like 30 minutes before, just in case it wants to update, and it usually does. So I actually got in yesterday really, really early, updated, and then it was happy. So maybe updates come out on Fridays. I don't know. But yep, a little preparedness on your part keeps you safe.
Shots fired.
Just saying. So
It's all good.
I was going to print out our list for next week, but I think next week we have, who do we have? We have Red Rider and Gma. Yeah. Gma Rise is going to be on next week, and the Red Rider. So
Nice.
yep, I'm moving up in the world. Actually got people wanting to be on my channel. It's kind of cool.
Man, you've been up in the world, just everyone else is realizing it.
Yeah, oh, thanks. No, it's very cool, though, to have your peers tell you that, yeah, I want to be on your channel. I think you're doing a good thing. I want to be there. So it helps everybody out, I think. And I think that's the biggest thing for doing this, is to get to know all of our people. Who's on that bike next to you? Who's out there riding? If I go to a rally, who's going to be there with me? Who do I need to look for?
Yeah.
Who can tell me what bike I need to buy as a beginner rider?
Who's gonna ride through a freaking thunderstorm with me?
I know. Who's gonna tell me what I need? What the best rain gear is for riding through a hurricane? So
Oh man, there's like so much more I want to talk about with you.
I'm here. You got my number.
No,
Give me a call. Well, so I am doing this thing, so we're taking votes every once in a while just to see who gets a second shot at an interview. And of course, me and you were both in the Saturday Night Bullshit session on Two Wheel Goons channel. So hit me up there, man. Or you can call me anytime. You got my number. We'll have a long sit down at Forgotten Angels. We'll have a good time.
Oh, we're supposed to be doing something to that effect, right?
Yep.
We're doing a in-person sit down.
Yep, and I am trying to decide. Someone has asked me if they'll do their interview at Forgotten Angels, which
Ooh.
means not doing it live. I'll have to video it because I don't have internet capabilities there. So I'm thinking about that. We'll see what happens. But
We'll talk because like there's some things you could do with hotspots and stuff, but that we'll talk later.
yeah, we may actually take it on the road, go to a McDonald's and do it at a McDonald's because they always have Wi-Fi at McDonald's, right?
Please invite me. Please, I want those nuggies.
Won't that be awesome? You got those nuggies.
I'll tag along.
We'll do a Walmart
I'll tag along
trip.
for
Yeah,
nuggies.
we'll do a Walmart trip and then go to McDonald's.
Please.
So, all right, guys, that'll do it for now. Seven, you want to go ahead and give us all your social media information?
Oh yeah. So you could find me at Seventh Sentinel on YouTube and Instagram. On Instagram, it's Seventh spelled out. Period Sentinel, and it's a picture of my dog holding a bite pillow. Yep. That's about it. That's all I'm on.
I had a lot of questions for you too because I wanted to ask you about the pie place and Chinese food and sushi, and I guess you got to come back for a second round then.
I do, yeah. Next time I'll be on time, hopefully.
And Aaron says we'll do a breakfast ride. Yeah, so you have to go with me at breakfast this time to the scrambled egg because both times last time.
Please.
Yes, scrambled egg. We'll have to storm
Yeah,
it.
if I'm not working too hard at the camp out, I'll definitely join.
I'll drag you away anyway. I'll tell you we're going to McDonald's and we'll just go to the scrambled egg instead.
Please kidnap me. Kidnap me from my job.
I will.
My volunteering.
All right, guys, that will do it. Again, I'm Rainy Ryder. This is my channel. So like, subscribe, hit the bell, share it with your friends. And if you don't like me, Seven's here. Everybody likes her. So we're out. That'll do it for now. See you next week.